So, and that's what I'm saying is that even if you love what Trump is doing immigration wise, nobody should, love the fact that Trump is basically making himself king and he is putting himself above the law. Because then at that point, that means he can literally do anything he wants to do.
Not only and if he can do anything he wants to do, we already know how they feel about black people
Right.
because and trans people and queer people because
Mm-hmm.
they used to it used to be a time when Trump would scribble on a LGBTQ flag like LGBTQ as if
Mm-hmm.
the flag wasn't already saying that, but to try to pretend as if he was an ally to our community. But now they seem to be saying it from the chest.
The Trump administration is now openly saying that they hate gay people and black people, basically with what has happened in the last week. So
Well,
first we had
tell what been going on in this past week?
So first, the Trump administration, retweeted on Truth Social. So it's Retruth. I don't use Truth Social, but so this is the language. But
Retruth.
right, that's what they call it, Retruth, because it's not Twitter. So it's
Yes.
Truth Social. But he shared an article, that was celebrating or basically supporting trans folks being removed from the military. But when he shared that article, he also put up the symbol of the pink triangle, which is what the Nazis used in Nazi Germany to basically mark folks that they had detained as being gay. Anybody who, so the Nazis didn't just go after Jews; they went after anybody who was, of color, anybody who was gay, anybody who had any type of like neurodiversity. Like they went after many different groups that were not just Jewish folks. So, anyways, they used the pink triangle. They would sew it into prisoners' uniforms to say this person needs to be, shamed and exterminated. So Trump used this pink symbol that has only been ever
And
used for
what they
that.
don't understand is when it comes to the Holocaust, the Nazis absolutely went for gay. That's what the pink triangle.
Right,
Like
right.
folks don't understand. Like and think it's just. I feel like the signs were so obvious before, but my goodness, now they're like, you know, I think Oprah used to say, first the signs come in a whisper.
Right,
Then
right,
it becomes a loud scream. Then it's a brick
right.
up against the head. We're at the brick up against the head stage.
Right. And the second thing he did this week was he told, so there was a rule for Department of Homeland Security that basically said, when government is using cameras to surveil the public, you could not surveil somebody because they were gay. Like if you saw that somebody, let's say if you saw two same-sex gender people kissing or whatever, like you would not be able to just surveil people because they're gay. Trump just removed that rule.
Yeah. Oh, I know he removed it because my phone is tapped. I know y'all listening. I know y'all watching. One day, one of my phones, the screen just started recording. I didn't go to the screen recording feature. I didn't unless there's some button I can push accidentally to make it start like outside of putting your screen down, pushing the record button. I didn't do any of that. It just started screen recording. I have had trouble with my Wi-Fi networks in the past couple weeks. I have had notifications from my home Wi-Fi network saying we just blocked an insecure, link or something like that, and I'm not actually visiting any links. So at this point, that's why also with the Trans Tech Summit that I have coming up, it's now the Trans Tech Action Summit because I know that we need to come up with actionable items to keep ourselves and our community safe. And one of those things is keeping our data and ourselves secure when we're in such a surveyed environment.
Right, right. Things are definitely being surveilled. And so the last thing he did to basically, this is where his administration is getting to basically openly signaling that they hate black people as well, is that there was a rule in place that basically said that contractors who work for the federal government could not engage in segregation. Trump removed that rule this week. Now, this rule goes all the way back to the 1965 like Civil Rights Act. Like it goes all the way back to, this is a rule that was put in place during the Civil Rights era. So to your point, like at this point, me and you existing as black queer people, Trump is trying to make it so that is just an act of rebellion just by us existing because we're black and queer.
I mean, especially when you got states like Texas that are trying to really even move it further and say
Right.
being trans
Right.
is a
Right.
felony.
Right.
But the news cycle
Right.
seems to continue to have cisgender, heterosexual identified men violating women. A pastor, there was recently a Republican, I think House person, it was one of them, just got caught soliciting a minor.
Right. And previously he had been real loud about family values, but we know what their family values are. So
Baby, don't none of this make sense. But we need to start like holding folks accountable, because when it don't make sense, I think we need to actually move towards making it make sense. Making them start to make sense with this, because we can't continue to go forward like this. Y'all, that was a lot to cover in this week. Obviously, we still ain't covered all the drama, but that's all the time we got for today on doing that. We try to make it make sense. I know we made a little bit of that made sense, but we can't make everything that the Trump administration is doing make sense, because it don't make sense. We'll be right back.